It's Jessica. We are going live today to do a iced coffee snow globe tumbler here, and I apologize, I went to turn this to have it be landscape and it flipped it to portrait last minute, so I apologize, but we are going to be working on this amazing coffee iced coffee tutorial here this morning. So let me know if y'all have any questions as we work on making this beautiful, beautiful iced coffee cup, right? It is stunning. It's gorgeous. And there's some things that I did with this one that I'm going to do different on the one that we're going to do for today. And I'm super excited to show you the technique that I used to make this cup. It was a lot of fun to make, but it had multiple steps and a huge learning curve. So I'm going to show you exactly what not to do for your cup so it turns out a little bit better. This was the first one I made. So I'm just excited to show you all this. So let's get started. So I'm going to show y'all how it looks, what's going on, and all that fun stuff. And then we are going to... Let me see if I can pull up comments. There we go. Right now, I cannot see any comments here. So I'm going to proceed forward with the tutorial, but I'll have to come back and see comments because I literally cannot see any comments while I'm talking. So we're just going to start working on this magical snow globe cup. If y'all have any questions, like I said, I apologize. I wish I could see the live chat right now. It's just not, it's not popping up. So I apologize for that. But it looks like we've got really good clear audio and video, which is amazing, which is what we want. And then I have my cup already prepped. So you're going to need, or for today, we're using the, this is the 16-ounce glass double-walled sublimation tumbler that of course I got from Puzzle Tumblers. So this is the cup that we're using today. It has a 16-ounce exterior wall, 12-ounce interior, and then of course it has the hole in the bottom, which we're going to use to fill all of our liquid for today's tutorial, and then the double wall, right? So you can hypothetically put vinyl on here if you want. Because of the wall, it won't sweat. So that's one good thing about this tutorial today, that if you're looking for a really good epoxy-free alternative for cups, this is something that is amazing that y'all would definitely be able to use and take advantage of. So, and I have not seen anybody making these cups like this. So that's just something to think about when you're looking at that, creative edge. Y'all, this is something that I really enjoyed making, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it today. So, and the goal is to have it look even better than my first one. So this one had some swirls in the bottom, which I really liked. Kind of looked like it had some caramel swirls, so I'm going to try and get a little bit more of that going today. And we're just going to do a step-by-step so y'all can see exactly how things are being done. Okay, so you're going to want, let's go back to the basics on this. You're going to want to prep your cup many hours in advance. So you want to make sure this is 100% cool to the touch. You do not want to have any issues whatsoever with this with this iced coffee cup. You don't want this warm from whether you're heating it in your convection oven or your tumbler press. So make sure it's 100% cool. We don't want any glass, because it is glass. We don't want any cracking or whatnot. You don't want to put your liquid into a cup that's even slightly warm. So we don't want to alter any of our liquid in any way, shape, or form by the cup being warm. So next step, so our cup is prepped. I sublimated it using a tumbler press. I have a 20-ounce tumbler press from Puzzle Tumblers. And I sublimate mine at 365 degrees 4 times. I rotate 4 times 1/4 of an inch every 45 seconds. So you can see the color, the vibrancy, and I use of course we got glitter. I use the Puzzle Tumblers sublimation paper so you can see that there is good color transfer all the way through. The coffee beans are brown, the letters are black. I like it. It looks amazing. Okay. All right, so we are going to, without further delay, I'm going to show you the products that we're going to use today. So of course you're going to need some medicine cups, which we know, right? Going to need that. We're going to need some stirring sticks, okay? So we've got that on our to-do list, a pair of scissors. You're going to want to have some syringes, right? So I buy my 10 millimeter syringes off of Amazon. They come in a pack of 100. So you're definitely going to want, that. Many of these, along with, please note that you're going to want the smaller ones too, because we're going to really get down in this jar with our colorants. And you're going to want to buy one of those syringe packs that has the different sizes of syringes in it with the different gauge needles. So we can really get the colors down in the jar without it really touching too much of the sides of the cup. So we're going to be, and these were, I want to say, about $7 or $8 for a whole pack of maybe like 20 or 30 of them. And then we're going to be using some alcohol inks and some paint today, and I'll show you as I go, along with a special solution from Elmer's. It's the great product. You all have probably seen me show these amazing cups on other lives. So these have really become popular and fun to make. I'm just going to move the coffee one out. So it's just an amazing process to see a cup transform from its clear state into a state where it literally looks like this. And this one I made yesterday on a live. It's absolutely positively gorgeous. The bottom has been sealed with UV resin and plugged the hole. And this was the cup from yesterday's live. So I'm really hoping that y'all can take inspiration from this and run with it, because these are truly amazing cups to be able to work with. You could probably do this style of technique on a cup, on any double-walled cup, to get this flow looking like iced coffee, right? So it's got a good caramel effect. And my goal today in the live is to have less of the lines. So I'm going to give you some tips as we go, because one of the things I did not do, and that won't be happening on today's live, is I did not let this sit long enough, and y'all can see that I have an air bubble that floats around the top here, and then my air, as it came back up the top, it left lines, and I don't want lines in my next cup. So I'm going to work on swirling these colors a little bit better, and then I'm actually going to allow the cup to degas overnight. So I can come back tomorrow and show y'all, once we get it sealed up and closed, how it's going to look. So pretty cool, right? I think that looks pretty cool. So that is our goal for today. I'm just going to slide this over here so we have a point of reference for our cup, right? Because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the swirls. I absolutely positively love the swirls. So we're going to start. Make sure you have some baby wipes handy, because if you're like me, I am a messy crafter. So I'll start with a clean workspace, and then it just goes a little messy here and there, right? So I'm just opening up my packs of syringes here real quick. I've got 2, and then I've got some other ones that are set off to the side. And we're going to start by mixing our white, okay? So if y'all are like me, a lot of us craft on a budget, right? So what that means is that we're buying supplies and different things from Walmart or Dollar Tree or different things like that. Right now I'm just shaking up my bottles because I want to make sure that my contents have not settled. I'm going to show you the first color that I'm going to be using. It literally was a 50-cent, it cost me 50 cents for these colors. You can find them at Walmart. But the first color we are going to mix, because our cup, we want it from the top down. I want a lot of white at the top. So I'm going to be mixing white, Snow White. So this is Snow White from Walmart, one of their brands of paints. Okay, so I'm literally going to be putting this into my cup first. All right. And what I'm going to be mixing with it is what makes all the magic happen, because a lot of people have been asking me, how do you get the colors to not bleed into each other or become one color? And the magic in this is, if you've seen any of my other tutorials for any of these other cups, you already know that the secret ingredient to making these is Elmer's magical liquid. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. This was the very first cup I made, so you're watching me make cup number 2 live today, which I appreciate it. Hey, Megan, yay! Oh my gosh. And Megan, I have a reveal for you. You were pretty much on point as far as products that I used to make this amazing cup. I just didn't want to give away the surprise until I went live to show everybody. So I'm super duper excited to see everybody make these. And then oh, thank you for the audio video check too. I really appreciate that. And then Megan, I really want to see your the paint and blood splatter crime scene come to life on one of these cups. Like, I'm just so excited. All right, y'all, so we went over our supply list. Now I'm going to get out some medicine cups here, and I'm going to fill these cups up with some magical liquid. You don't have to shake it or whatnot. I got mine at Walmart, so you're absolutely positively, if you can get it at your Michael's, Amazon. Last night on our live, we talked about, there's one that has a glow pigment, which I have not seen yet, but it's going to go in my cart very soon, because of course we just have to have this. We have to. So I'm just going to show you all how I fill this and then the supplies that I use. So I am not using a lot of paint. So I'm just putting a little bit in here. It doesn't take a lot of paint in order to color this magical liquid, and I'm just stirring with a popsicle stick, okay? So I want this to be a white. Oops, and y'all see, I told you I'm a messy crafter. I'm gonna make a mess all over here before I get done, I promise. And I'm left-handed, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm standing out of the way of the camera so I don't bump anything. I'm gonna add a little bit more white because I don't want it a milky white. I want a bright white, as if it's coffee creamer on the top of there, on the top of the cup. And then keep in mind, I said today we're going to make the cup, but I'm going to let it sit overnight to let those bubbles come up through the bottom. So we're going to learn from my mistakes on trial and error on this one. I want to eliminate all the bubbles. I don't want to see any bubbles or streaks popping up through the top. I want a beautiful caramel swirl to stay in place, and I don't want it to move around a lot at all. All right, y'all. Now here comes the fun part. So unlike the cups that you've maybe seen me do with the glitter and the magical liquid, unlike those, I have to be very careful when I'm adding this liquid to my cups, because I don't want, I repeat, I do not want the colors to literally bleed together, okay? So you do have to be a little bit careful when you're adding your colorant into your cup, okay? So with that being said, I'm just going to, and I'm prepping right now and taking out my needles here, because I can put it in with, this is I used for my white, you can see. I want to be very precise with where my flow is going on these. So once again, I got this kit off of Amazon, and you literally just, it twists right on, okay? So I'm one of those that I want to reuse. I'm going to keep my white with my white. And we're going to add this to our cup. One of the other things that you need to be very mindful of as you're doing this is you want, sorry, I'm not trying to get off camera here. You want to make sure that you are turning your cup as you're adding your liquid. So the turning part is important because you want equal distribution throughout all of your cup. So I'm just literally suctioning this up, and we might have to make another cup of this. We're going to find out. Y'all, I'm left-handed, so bear with me. I'm just literally suctioning this in. I'm not worried about wiping this off right now because the white is okay, but as I add my liquid, I'm going to be rotating my cup. So in the beginning, I'm just going to put it down on the side. I want it to literally drip down the inside of the cup. Y'all see, it's literally just flowing straight down, and that's what I want. I want to contain where this is going. I'm going to stop and I'm going to rotate. I want this to rotate against the cup. So I'm going to put some more down in there. I can get this needle all the way to the wall, through the wall, which is a good thing. Okay, so there's my first syringe full. You can see it's filling up very nice, but I need it to transfer over all the way around. So now I'm going to fill up syringe number 2. And it's filling up, and I'm just gonna tap this over so it'll flow a little bit around to the back side. That's not gonna take much, I promise. Okay, now I'm going to tap it a little bit more because now we want it to rotate around. So your white wall, you want to make sure it is the exact thickness you want before you add any colors. So to me, I want more white in here. This is not enough on the top because it's going to swirl and blend a little bit, but I want a little bit more white on the opposite side. So I'm going to fill this up with a little bit more magical liquid. Hey, Mace. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. I'm just going to add a little bit more in here. And then, thank you. All right, y'all. And then a little bit more paint, just a couple drops. It's not going to take a lot. And we're going to stir that up one more time. I got my oldest helping me out real quick with something in the background. Y'all know how that goes. All right, so next we're going to add a little bit more. I'm going to watch how much I'm putting in right now because I don't want to overdo it with the white. We're going to add white in a little bit later as well. This, you notice, is mixed really well, so you want to make sure your color is about the same as what you just put in. Otherwise, it will show up. If you want that milky look, then don't add as much white paint. Otherwise, it's just going to be pretty. I just put half of that in, and I'm going to tap it around and see if I can get it to move around a little bit. And that's looking pretty good right now. I might add just the rest just to use it. To me, it doesn't hurt, right? Less is more. More is less. All right. So that looks really good to me right now as far as the white around the top. And then we're going to move on to our next step. So I'm going to keep my white off to the side because we're going to need this color again here in just a little bit. And now I'm going to move on to my clear. So now I'm just going to pour some of this magical liquid into a cup. I want to make sure that there is a good division of color in here. So while I want it to caramelize, I don't want it to blend in with the other colors, okay? So now I'm going to take my clean syringe. I'm going to add another new tip to it, and this one is going to be used for clear only. Put all the cold stuff. Thank you. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. So next, we are going to, let me keep that clean. I don't want to get paint on the bottom of my beautiful cup. Next, I'm going to just suction up the clear in here, and I'm going to add a layer or a boundary of the clear. So as you all might have realized, this liquid is a really good means to separate your colors, and it actually stays in place. So you can see the glitter. These cups, when you're using them for the purpose of a snow globe, right, or using them to make iced coffee or whatever it is you might be making, this component, liquid, right, magical liquid, is amazing because yes, it's an activator product, but it's even better in the sense that it will help to keep your product looking exactly as it is. So once you fill it and you get out the air bubbles and you seal it, your product won't move, right? So now I'm just going to squirt this down in here, and I'm going to rotate my needle as much as I can because I'm going to tip this. I want it to rotate to all sides throughout my cup. And now I'm going to tap this down. You can see the gel, the clear, coming around. I just want a thin barrier of the clear coming around the bottom of my cup. It's thin. You can't even see it in the other cup, but I want that there to help prevent and separate my colors 100%. Okay? All right, so the clear I'm going to set off to the side again. And now we're going to work with our colorants. So let me show you the colors we have. I'm going to set out 4 medicine cups. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to push this to the side so y'all can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to fill these up first with our magical liquid. I'm going to do a good amount of magical liquid because this cup's going to take a little bit. And there's 4 colors I'm going to use to get the effect of the iced coffee in here. All right, y'all. I'm gonna set this off to the side. So there's 4 colors I'm going to be using. I have, again, from Walmart. Yay! Yeah. Oh, Megan, you were totally right. You were totally right. She guessed it. So I use Nutmeg. I've got a beautiful Nutmeg brown color that I used from Walmart. Okay, so I'm going to put Nutmeg in here over on the left-hand side. So I'm going to just maybe put these in order. Y'all forgive me. I'm going to try and keep these in order so I don't lose my space. Okay. Oh, maybe I got one off camera. There we go. All right, so we have 4. So the first one I'm going to put in is our nutmeg, okay? So make sure to shake it up really good. This is a gorgeous brown color, and I kind of like the carameling effect. Add just a little bit of paint to your colorant. You can always add more if you want it to be a darker, richer color. And then, so we've got that color. Then I've got a bark brown, which is another gorgeous brown color. It's a lot darker. Once again, these paints can be found at Michael's or at Walmart. They are very cheap, so you don't have to use expensive products to get this to work or to get the desired effect you want. This is more like a chocolate, dark, rich brown. So I'm going to put these in order once again. Next, we have here 2 products which y'all already use if you are cup makers and you know what I'm talking about. You know that this next beautiful color that I have is an alcohol ink called teakwood. Woo woo! So I've got teakwood in here. I'm going to drop some drops of teakwood in to the all right, so I'm going to drop some teakwood into the Elmer's Magical Liquid. And it's going to color it. That's where I'm going to get part of my caramel coloring for this cup. Okay. So once again, teakwood. And then the last color I'm going to be using to help give me some coffee creamer effect is going to be butterscotch. So how cool is that? Yay! All right, so let's add a couple of drops into our mixture for butterscotch. This is just going to make this gorgeous. That's going to give it that true caramel effect. So I'm just going to move these a little bit off to the side here because we're going to be mixing, stirring, and adding in layers. Mason. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think he's knocking on the door. I'm so sorry. I think my child locked himself out. Y'all forgive me. Oh, my child. Y'all ever do that where the kid locks himself out? Yeah, that just happened on a live. It's okay. It was just the garage door. He got it stuck out in the garage. Yay. Oh, thank you so much. You saw these on Facebook and they're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. This cup was so much fun to make. The biggest thing, like I said, that I learned from my first one is I have to let it sit and let all those bubbles, as y'all snow globe makers call it, I have to allow this to degas overnight, or I'm going to have some huge issues and bubbles like I did in my very first one. Okay, so I'm going to keep these in order here. So we had our butterscotch is on the left here, followed by our teakwood. So I'm just moving the cup while I'm mixing. Teakwood. Yay, you found us. Awesome. Yay. Yes. And then next color here is the bark brown. Bark brown. It's a really good, beautiful brown color. I'm just literally mixing this in. All right. Y'all forgive me. I have a small working space in front of the camera, and I'm used to having a whole working area. So it's like left-handed and struggling here today, right? But I'll keep it all. Oops, y'all. I'm not the only one that's a messy crafter, right? I'm going to say that all day long. If you're not a messy crafter, we cannot be friends, right? I'm not one of those clean crafters. I make a mess. My hands get full of paint and stuff while I'm working hard. All right, y'all. So That was Bark Brown. And then the last color again that we used was Nutmeg from Walmart. So just mixing that up. Make sure to stir this really, really good. You want to make sure you have a solid color with the paint mixed into your magical liquid before you even think about pouring it into your cup. You want 100% mixture in here. You want it to look really well blended. You don't want any bubbles or any clear liquid coming into this. All right, so just I'm going to hold it up and show you all real quick what this looks like mixed so you can see what your texture should be once you've mixed yours. So no residual clearness from our magical liquid, right? So this is 100% mixed. This is more translucent because it was alcohol ink. So this is really going to give it that texture you want for the iced coffee. And then last but not least, I can tell I need to stir this one a little bit more. So I'm just going to put it down so I don't spill it. But I want to make sure there are no clumps of anything in here because it will show in the cup. Okay. All right. That looks really good. Okay. Awesome. All right. So now I've got my 4 colors. I'm going to push these off to the side. I'm going to back everything up here for a second. And we are going to, I want to make sure that these stay in order in case I need to mix a little bit more. I don't want to be guessing what was what, right? Okay, now, as you can see from the previous one that I did, we're working in reverse order. So we started with our white on the top and now we're going to move down. So I want one of the lighter colored browns mixed in with the caramel color. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Exactly what we're going to do. So now I'm just literally grabbing out my syringes and I'm going to be filling them up with the contents and the appropriate syringe. So I'm just literally getting all of that squared away right now and good to go. Now I'm using the bigger syringes here, the 2 bigger ones for the colors on the left, and then I'm actually going to be using smaller syringes for the alcohol inks, and you're going to see why I'm using smaller for the others. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. So now we've got that set up. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is come back to our cup. So you can see it's got some gorgeous separation here with that clear layer, and it's really going to grab to the colors that we're going to put into this cup. So I'm going to start with our nutmeg first. So I'm just going to suction some nutmeg into the syringe. I've literally just pulled it into the syringe. It doesn't have to be an exact science. The cool part about this is the cup will look exactly how you want it. So if you want it darker on the top, put more dark in the bottom. Or more dark in on that layer. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit in and then I'm going to tap. I'm going to lightly tap. I want it to flow. I want it to flow. Let it flow. So we're just going to let it flow. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction here of letting it flow. Tap, tap, tap. And it's going to slowly come over, which is exactly what we want. Try to make sure your needle goes off the end of the jar, right? The goal is to not have paint towards the top as we get towards the top and want to close it off because you want to be able to control your colorant. All right, so first color is in. I am slightly tapping, not shaking, and I want it to get all the way over to the side. It's okay if it doesn't, because we're going to roll it around a little bit and we're going to make it work. Next color I'm going to use is our bark brown, pardon me. I'm going to add a little bit of that brown, that darker color. And I say a little bit because it doesn't take a lot. feel I've got some suction going on here with this one. Let me try and do this without the needle on. Sometimes like you get air in there and it just does not want to suction up. So I'm just going to suction it, and then I'm going to put the syringe back on the top. And it's a twist on, so I'm literally just twisting it back on in place. Okay? All right. So I'm going to add just a little bit of the dark, because I want some, oh, why is that not working? Maybe I got a bad needle tip. I don't know, that's weird. Bear with me, I'm just gonna swap this one out. That was random, maybe it's just plugged or it doesn't have the right amount of air that we need to flow through, which is okay. That's why you get the bag that has like 30 other different pieces in it, so we can easily swap out. So I'm just swapping out real quick, and now we're going to put in our darker brown color, and I'm just rotating as I'm putting it in. I didn't put that much in, and I'm going to tap. So you want that swirl effect to happen and to take place, which is exactly what we want, and it's starting to move around, which is exactly what we want. Alcohol inks here are going to bring your carameling texture of your coffee creamer into effect, right? Those of us that drink coffee, it's all about the creamer. So we're just going to add our beautiful coffee creamer down here. And of course, it's going to bubble up. Of course, it's going to bubble up just a little bit. Let me see if I can get one of my other syringes in place here for this little one. There we go. So it really does, you can see, work better to use the actual needle tip on here versus the other. So I can totally manipulate the location of where it goes so much better with that versus just using this. Okay, oops, I'm so sorry, y'all. Not trying to move you around. I promise. I promise, I promise. All right, then I'm gonna grab the last one that we have not used for our last colorant. And then we're going to alternate how we add this, okay, and swirl. The most important part is to tip the cup side to side. You do not want to shake. You do not want to shake it. So now it's just a matter of literally manipulating your liquid as it flows into the cup. So you have total control over this as you're making your iced coffee cup, and you can see the different colors as they layer and mix together. Can y'all see that? So it's going to completely caramelize and texturize as we add more. So I'm going to go back to my nutmeg. I'm going to add another layer of nutmeg. And then I'm going to keep literally in layers adding my colors. As you add a little bit, please, please, please rotate that cup. Just going to tip it a little bit to the side. Not a lot, just a little. I just want to give it a little tap, and I want that color to keep swirling and blending. That's all I want. I want it to keep blending. How cool is that? Now I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to add a little bit more of my alcohol ink here. So just literally vary it up. Don't be afraid to use a variation of it and see how it looks after you've shaken it a little bit. So go slow. So sorry guys, I'm trying not to go off camera. I'm going to add a little bit more. So these cups have been super fun to make. They do take a little bit of time, so the advice I'm going to give you is do not sell yourself short when you're pricing these to sell. This is not a $20 or a $30 cup, considering the amount of time that you will spend getting it to look perfect. So just be mindful of that. Oops. Put this one back over here, and now I'm going to grab my caramel because I like caramel drizzled in my coffee, so why wouldn't I want it caramel drizzled in my iced coffee cup? I just have to. So you can make it as light or as dark as you want. I wish the hole in here was a little bit bigger so I could add some of those coffee beans. That would look totally cool as well. Do y'all have any questions as I'm going? And then tap, 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 tap. Tap to the left, tap to the right, rotate around. Now I can see it's getting a little dark over here for my liking, so I'm going to add some more white. I like how this is mixed, but I'm going to add a little bit more white right now. So let's mix up some more white. Let's bring our white back over here. That's one of the things last time I really wanted to do, was have more defined color within my cup. So you want to really make sure that you're adding the colors you want, layer it as you want, and it will look gorgeous. The more paint you add, the more vibrant the color. All right, and I can't find my other popsicle stick, so we're just going to stir, stir, stir. But this is a totally cool and unique option to make. I'm excited. This cup actually comes in a 25-ounce size, this 16-ounce size, and then they're coming out with a 15-ounce, and in between one, it's medium, right? So it's not the small one. This is considered small, even though to me it's a good sized coffee cup or drink cup. All right, so there's my white. And I'm going to get a little bit more white in here, but you know what I'm going to do first? I am totally going to grab my clear. I want some clear. I want some clear. So I'm just grabbing my clear one, and I'm going to suction up some clear magical liquid. I want a little bit of a boundary here from this color that I've added. So I just want a little bit of a layer so I can get some division between that white. Not a lot, just a little. And I'm going to tap it. I'm going to just tap it slightly. Don't turn your cup too much, because what'll happen is you'll get your colors going in the wrong direction, which we don't want. We don't want it going in the wrong direction. We got to go in the right direction with our coffee swirl. Right, because coffee swirls usually in only one direction. Well, not one direction, but multiple directions, but I think y'all know what I'm saying. I think I've got an air bubble again in this syringe. Nope, there we go, now it's coming out. So I just want a little bit here. I'm going to tap it left and right. I'm just literally tapping it against the palm of my hand so I can get more of that swirl going. And now I'm going to add some more darker colors. Okay, so I'm back to my nutmeg. Actually, let me go to our bark brown. I want a little bit more brown. So it's almost like you're being a mixologist, right? A little bit of this and a little bit of that. All right, we're going to tap this out again. Ooh, that's so pretty. I'm just tapping it off camera right now, side to side. I just want it to shake and mix a little bit more than what it has. So I'm just literally tapping it against the palm of my hand so I can get that swirl. Now, if I shook it, it probably would mix a little bit better, but I like how it kind of flows and it has that division. So you can totally make it however you want. And then I want to add a little bit more nutmeg, and then I'm going to definitely add some more alcohol because I want it to look a little bit lighter in here. I might even add some more clear so I can get some definition on the bottom here. Let me add some more. Our alcohol inks, I'm adding teak wood right now. Ever so gently, just shake it and turn it, shake it and turn it. And you can see how it's swirling together beautifully. Like, this is just gorgeous. I cannot describe it enough. And the cool part is if you let it, oops, I just took the wrong needle in there, or the wrong syringe. If you let it sit overnight, which is what we're going to do, any loose remnants of air bubbles will come up, and it's going to lead for you to have a gorgeous cup to seal up for tomorrow. But I would say learn from my mistakes, and I would most definitely let it, as y'all call it, degas, or let it decompress overnight, so you don't have any issues with the gas bubbles, with the air bubbles coming up in your cup. So that is what we're doing. I'm just adding a little bit more white. Tap, tap, tap. And we're just swirling. I'm going to add some more darker colors in here. And that is literally what we're doing. So these colors will not bleed together. This liquid will actually help it to keep its color in place. And we don't have to worry about any of that happening. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Like, I like this. I like this better than the first one. Y'all forgive me. I've got little flecks on here. I'll clean off. Isn't that beautiful? So, so pretty. So, so pretty. I'm going to add a little bit more clear solution here as a boundary. Just a little bit, because I want that white to stay white. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of our, teak wood. Because normally the bottom of your coffee cup is darker, right? As everything kind of settles. So just showing you, it just makes a gorgeous contrast when you put the white on top of the teak wood. Or the teak wood, pardon me, on top of the white. So that's just gorgeous. This is a beautiful, beautiful coffee cup as it swirls out. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more of my nutmeg. Now, as you get closer to the top, you're most definitely going to have to shake this out, and you're going to get little air bubbles, which is 100% normal. Shake it out and tap. Literally shake and tap. All right, I'm just going to grab some paper towel here and wipe off my bubbles. And then we're going to keep going. I'm just shaking it off to the side. I want to add a little bit more white. Make sure your white syringe does not get contaminated by any other colors. Okay. And then we're going to add a little bit more of our alcohol ink, because I really like how the alcohol ink affects the white. You'll see it just literally, it's gorgeous when it blends together. It's just beautiful. It just swirls. It's beautiful. All right, let's add some more of our butterscotch. Okay. We're getting close to the top, which means we're going to have to tip and shake our cup a little bit more as we fill it. So the goal is to have no air bubbles. So we're literally filling this up to the top 100%. And as we fill it up, we want to make sure that we're still keeping our swirl consistent all the way around. So tap it as you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my goodness. I love it. It looks so realistic. It really looks like coffee in a cup. All right, y'all. So I've got more of my nutmeg I'm filling up with, and I'm going to tap it here. Oops, of course it's going to sputter out. So the closer we get to filling this cup, the more resistance we're going to have with the filling process. So shake it as you put it in. And we're working with a very small hole. So you're going to have air bubbles and you're going to have it pop back up through the top hole. Okay? There's no way around that. It will happen. So you can use, if you want other colors, I've just found that these four were the prettiest as far as they go for contrast in making these gorgeous cups. So I'm going to add a little bit more white. Just because I want my white to still swirl on the bottom. Tap it around a little bit. As it gets fuller, you're going to have less manipulation within your cup to be able to move things around. So just really make sure to take the time to swirl it out while you're adding it in. And I really love how butterscotch gives it that caramel look. We all love caramel in our iced coffee. If you don't, then we can't be friends. Because I have to have caramel drizzle, caramel everything. Just everything. Life is all about the caramel. All right, I'm just suctioning up the last little bit here in my bark brown. I'm going to get this in here. Tap it out. I can see there's some micro bubbles, air bubbles in here, and I'm okay with that because we're going to let this sit overnight and all those bubbles are going to come out. Okay, so 100% they're going to come out. Don't worry about it right now because as it settles, it will. There is an air bubble here that's kind of big and I want to get that out. I can deal with the micro bubbles, but you want to get all air bubbles out of the top of your cup. So we don't want to deal with any bubbles whatsoever once this cup sits. We're going to add some more butterscotch and hopefully call it a day. Oh, y'all, there's more in there. It wants more. This cup is thirsty. All right, let's get that down in there. It's still not full. It's still not full. Go figure. So I'm going to add a little bit of white. We're just going to add a little bit of white here and see if we can top off our beautiful creation with a little bit more of our white swirl. Oh, and I think it's telling us we're done. All right, so I'm just going to wipe that off. The cup says I'm full. All right, so I'm going to hold it. I'm just going to tap it and shake it. I want to get that last little bit moving. I can see more air bubbles in there, so we're not done, y'all. Tap it and shake it, and we're going to fill it a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more of our liquid magic in our color. It's not going to be as dark for the bottom, but we're just going to add a little bit to it. We don't need a lot, but we're just going to see if we can fill it up a little bit more. A little bit more. So I'm just mixing this up. Same thing, make sure it's all the way mixed, and then we're just going to add this because I can see a big air bubble in there now. Biggest thing is tap your cup out. Make sure to get rid of all the air bubbles, 100%, all of them, because your cup will not look good if you have any of these bubbles in. Okay. All right. See, I can see it bubbling up, but it's got air bubbles in there. So this is, like I said, we're going to let this sit overnight because I already can see all the bubbles down in here. We don't want any of those in our cup, okay? So all those bubbles are going to lead to bubbles up top around here when you do flip your cup over. So this to me looks gorgeous. It has a beautiful swirl. It's got great color contrast. It's got everything we need for a coffee cup. Granted, it's upside down, but I don't want to tip it yet, right? So this, isn't that pretty? Y'all can kind of see, right? This is gorgeous. So I'm happy with how this looks right now. We're going to stop for today, and we're going to definitely let this just sit overnight with the hole open. Make sure there's nothing blocking it. All that air is going to escape out the top, and then tomorrow we can come back and seal this up with UV resin, and it'll be done. So if y'all have any questions, let me know or leave a comment below. But this is, I'm going to put my finger over the top of it while I'm rotating it. This is how it will look, right? So it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous cup. So I look forward to seeing what y'all make. This will get you started on how to do this. These amazing cups can be found on a pre-order at puzzletumblers.com. And then all of the supplies you can get from Walmart or Michael's. But everything that was in this video, minus the alcohol inks, I think I got at Michael's. Everything else was literally bought at Walmart. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I had a lot of fun today. I hope y'all did too. And I will look forward to seeing y'all live again really, really soon. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see y'all again soon. All right, bye y'all.